Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady, thank you all for tuning into Kinetic Aesthetic. I am your host, Germ, and today it is time for another edition of Sports Talk. Today we are going to be hitting y'all with the Super Bowl preview to start things off. That is, of course, the big game that is happening on Sunday. We've got the Seattle Seahawks, where I currently live, going up against the New England Patriots. Now, on paper, this is just another one of those Super Bowl rematches that we've had a couple of years ago. I remember it was, actually it wasn't them I'm thinking of when they had the defensive showcase. It was the year of the infamous should have gave Marshawn the ball on 4th and 1. It was late in the game, Super Bowl on the line. You had beast mode on the 1 yard line, and instead Pete Carroll decides to go for a quick pass with Russell Wilson. It got picked off, and that was the end of the Seahawks dynasty. What we all thought was going to be them dominating the league for years to come, and they still continue to be good after that, but they just never really recovered. And it's pretty much they had to end up getting rid of Russell, and they pretty much had to do a full rebuild, and here they are. They have an imposing defense. That shit is monstrous. It is scary. I'm not going to put this defense on Legion of Boom levels. This isn't like an all-time great top 10 defense. But at the same time, this is very dominant for this year. And to top it all off, they are just a complete team. This isn't one of those teams where the defense is just so dominant that they're able to carry a weaker offense like an 0-2 Baltimore Ravens. This is Sam Darnold making a complete comeback as a player and as a NFL quarterback. The guy went from seeing ghosts in New York and just being just a regular guy in Carolina to now he is leading his team to the Super Bowl. He has played himself into a contract that he is more than deserving of now. And he's a franchise. He is your franchise quarterback. He is what the New York Jets thought they were getting when they drafted him. And I just think you have to just give a lot of credit to that Seahawks organization. I'm not really familiar with too many of the executives' names over there. I know I was just watching a video about their GM, but that guy's done a wonderful job. The drafting has been great. They've just been building solid. They've been finding solid pieces in free agency and trading for them. You get DeMarcus Lawrence from Dallas. They've just been going above and beyond, and what they've built here is just impressive. This is the type of team to where there's no real reason to think even going into next year that they're not going to still be very solid. Now, again, they're not some head and shoulders above everybody else type of team. I don't see them as that, but I don't see a reason why if they win Sunday's game, they shouldn't be expected to be one of the heavy favorites going into next year. And just to speak a little bit more about that offense, you've got an amazing running game. The two running backs they have there are literally thunder and lightning. They've been amazing. You've got JSN, who, listen, going into this season, he was already a top 10 receiver. You could make an argument if I wouldn't have been thought somebody was crazy. They put him at like 5 maybe, but there's no way he's anything lower than 3, and I don't think he's 3. This season, he has been a monster. He's been amazing. He was on pace to break some crazy ass records when it comes to the yardage and everything. He is that guy. He's fully blossomed. He is one of the best receivers in the game, and he is the X factor of that offense. Like when everything is going wrong and they can't, and you're worried about something, chuck that shit up. JSN is down there somewhere. And just, again, we can't talk enough about Darnold. Aside from maybe 1 or 2 bad games this entire year, he's been stellar. He's been solid. He's been more than steady. And he is a big part of the reason why they're at where they're at. They wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for Sam Darnold playing as well as he has. So they more than earned the right. The NFC was not easy for them to come out of this year. They had some tough playoff games. Well, I wouldn't say tough playoff games, but they had some tough games in their season. You know, the Rams game, that one of the 49ers games wasn't easy, but they have, I can't say they've really had too much struggles in the postseason because they have really come into their own. That first divisional game was just a massacre. They beat the shit out of the 49ers, and then I never really thought that they were out of it or that they were like in trouble during that LA Rams game. So this is, for good reason, the favorite going into this game on Sunday. And it's going to take a very, very impressive effort from their opponent to get past them. But it's time we talk about that opponent, that being the Evil Empire. The villains of the league, the ones that we were all hoping would take a good long while before they came back into this type of a position. But thanks to some good drafting, thanks to Drake May turning out to be exactly what they thought he was going to be, here we are. The New England Patriots, they are your 2025 AFC champions. And people are going to want to talk about their schedule and how it was just soft and easy. And admittedly, they have had some very lucky breaks when it comes to who they've had to play in the playoffs, what they've had to go up against. But I just want to make one thing clear. The Patriots are a very talented team. They have a lot of stud players on both sides of the ball. And I think that they are well deserving of being where they're at. First things first, Drake May, MVP candidate. Nobody saw this type of explosion coming from him this year. There was a list of quarterbacks, of second-year quarterbacks who everybody thought was going to take that type of a leap. I think Dre definitely would have been last on that list. For as much shit as Caleb had gotten, I think a lot of people he would have gotten a lot of flack if he wouldn't have been able to improve and step up with Ben Johnson around him, especially with all the hype he had coming in as an offensive coach. Drake May, that first year with Gerard Mayo, things were looking bad. They weren't looking like they were close. The roster around him was just awful, and they gave you no real reason to expect this type of a turnaround. You know, you've got Bo Nix over in Denver. Most people knew, okay, that's still a somewhat solid team. You can't expect them to just lie down. Michael Penix, I am not a fan of him, but I can definitely see why someone would have been more expecting of him with the type of weapons he has around him in Atlanta, that he was going to make Bijan Robinson. What's the tight end's name? I can't think of his name right now, but he was highly drafted. They had Drake London as the wide receiver in Atlanta. So there was a lot of reason to expect them. And then, even 9 in Minnesota, when you've got Jordan Addison and fucking Justin Jefferson as your receivers, I think people are going to expect you to be somewhat passive. So Drake May easily had the lowest expectations, but he is, even more so than Caleb, if I'm being honest, he is the one who's exceeded. And it's impressive. His deep ball is the best in the game. He is just so good at staying calm in that pocket and just getting those throws off. They are not doing a great job of pressuring him. He is having a very similar, I don't think he's gotten hit as much, so it's not as bad. But his season so far, especially this postseason run, has reminded me a lot of that Joe Burrow run they had. He's not as poised, not as doing as well as Joe did, but he's leading a team that is still struggling to beat him. They're struggling to protect him, taking a beating, and still getting back up and leading this team to some victories. So I've been very impressed with Drake May. The numbers aren't there, but at the end of the day, what you're bringing a quarterback into the postseason to do is win, and he's getting that done. I like their running backs. Stephon Diggs, for as much shit as he has going on, he's got a lot of shit going on. I'm just going to leave alone what I really think about him outside of football and, as a person. The nigga can ball. The nigga knows how to go out there and put on a show. He knows how to just lay it all out there on the field. And purely as an athlete and as a football player, I'm happy for him to be able to finally be in this position to go get himself a ring. He has been just dedicated to that shit. Like, the grind and the journey of trying to get to a Super Bowl and win one has been something that he has been like. The pictures of him after the Bills would lose playoff games where he's just standing there with his hands behind his back just watching the other team celebrate, that shit that's iconic. That's a meme at this point. But for him to finally be able to reach it, when you saw those tears fall from that man's face, that was genuine. Again, not going to speak on his cases outside of this shit. If he did some wrong shit, he did some wrong shit. He needed to pay for it, but I'm glad for him as a football player to finally be able to reach this top of the mountain, the precipice, because he hasn't reached yet. He hasn't won the game yet. Now, when it comes to the O-line of the Patriots, it's like I said, they give up a decent amount of pressure. I'm not the biggest fan of them, especially their left tackle because of the short arms. I'm really happy we didn't draft Will Campbell because, you know, the way he's been struggling this postseason against Will Anderson and some of these guys with those T-Rex arms, it has not been pretty. But, you know, they give good effort. And defense, I'm not really sold on this Patriots defense. I think they've been made to look really good this postseason. Again, they've been not had to go through too much. You're facing off against fucking Justin Herbert in the playoffs, who, listen, I like Justin Herbert. I really like Jim Harbaugh, so I want to believe in the Chargers, but that at this point, there's just something again about Justin Herbert when he gets to the playoffs to where he's gonna let you down. Then they had to face CJ Stroud, who shit the bed in one of the most epic displays I've seen in quite some time. Again, 4 interceptions. You're throwing like, I want to say it was all 4 in the first half. I think it was maybe 3 and then another one. But either way, the guy just literally was doing whatever he could to give y'all the ball. So that's not... Christian Gonzalez is a great cornerback. He's one of the top 5. But I'm not giving them that defense a lot of credit for that. And then you facing the fucking backup Jarrett Stidham in the AFC Championship game. They have not faced a lot of great competition, and they have not had to deal with the level of offense that they're going to be facing in the Super Bowl. Christian Gonzalez, again, great cornerback. I think he and JSN are going to be a great matchup, but I don't see the rest of those Patriots cornerbacks being able to handle everybody else on the Seahawks offense. I don't know what they're going to be able to do about that running game. It just doesn't have it has the potential that Patriots defense is going to let them down. And if Drake May is not able to stand in that pocket and deliver some good deep ball throws, because he's going to get hit. I'm just telling y'all right now, don't go in there expecting that Drake May is just going to have a clean game. He's going to get hit. He's going to be on the ground. They have been struggling to protect this man all year long, and now you're going up against one of the best defenses in the league. We saw what happened when they played against the Texans, and he was dropping the ball all those fucking times. It's not going to be different against Seattle. And he didn't even have that great of a game against Denver, who also has a great defense. So this could be where the buck stops, and if I'm being honest with you, I'm sort of expecting I want to say it was Super Bowl 59 when you had the Broncos going up against the Seahawks, number 1 offense against number 1 defense, and then one of them got fucking exposed. I have a very strong feeling, because this is not the number 1 offense. The Patriots don't have that. They have a good offense with Drake May and everything. That's not number 1. It's not world beating. So this has the potential to get very ugly. I don't know if I'm going to expect it to be like a 40-point blowout or anything like that, but I would be shocked, genuinely shocked, if the Seahawks don't win this game by more than 2 or 3 touchdowns. I don't see how they are going to lose the way the momentum is playing out and everything. The only way the Seahawks are really going to lose this game is if Sam Darnold has, at this point, which would be the worst possible time to do it, have a shit the bed game and he throws like 3 or 4 picks. Because again, 1 or 2, and I still think they're going to win. I don't see New England being able to post that much of a challenge. They're just too young. They're too inexperienced, and they just don't have the talent at a lot of positions to match up with Seattle. So if I have to make a final score prediction, I'm going to say it's going to be Seattle 35 and New England 14. This is going to be ugly. This is not going to be one of those games. It's not going to be a Chicago Bears game. Let me tell you that right now. And I had a coworker who said it about the week of the game, and he was right. The Super Bowl was going to come down to Seattle against LA, and we found out who was the winner. So I'm going to be dead ass shocked if we don't already know who the Super Bowl champion is. But that's just how I feel about the game. I don't really have too much. It's a somewhat disappointing end to the NFL season. I think they could have had a stronger team in the AFC, but that's just how the playoffs worked out. I mean, there's not much that can be done. The only real teams that would have been interesting, that would have made this a solid game, now that I think about it, are probably, and this is with Bo Nix being hurt. If Bo Nix would have stayed healthy, if Denver would have gotten in, that would have been a great game. But with Bo Nix being injured, the only other teams I thought of that would have been interesting to see would have been Buffalo, just because of that Josh Allen experience and that Josh Allen effect, or Jacksonville, just because that's a fun story and they're a fun team to watch. So this is just, it's not going to be the greatest game. It's not going to be the greatest thing. I'm not excited for the game or anything like that, like I have been in recent years, but I'm going to watch it. We're going to see what happens. And you know what? If Seattle wins, then the city's going to be happy. There'll be a big-ass parade, and there'll be that to look forward to. But that's my Super Bowl preview. Expect Seattle to win big. New England just does not have, especially they don't have the talent to protect Drake May enough to help them get it done. So, like I said, Seattle 35, New England 14. Now, other NFL news that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to touch on, something that needs to be discussed. Let's talk about this Epstein list and how it relates to the NFL, because ever since these files have been dropping, there have been a shocking amount of NFL names that have been linked, that have been like a part of this shit, and there have been none bigger than the New York Giants co-owner, Stephen Tisch. Now, I don't know too much about him. He's a billionaire. He owns an NFL team, so clearly he's got some type of money. He's probably had to step on a whole bunch of motherfuckers to get to that level of wealth. All billionaires, there's no such thing as a good one. But I don't really know that I'm too surprised by this. NFL billionaires, well, NFL owners, same thing. NFL owners are usually so good, especially aside from Jerry Jones, at staying out of the limelight and staying out of the way, because they don't like to be the center of attention. You know, aside from Jerry Jones, maybe there's one other owner, but I can't really even think of that. You don't hear about them making too much noise. You don't hear about them being in the news too much. Literally the only reason why I even know who Robert Kraft was, because he got himself caught up in that massage parlor shit that happened. And that's just how it goes. So for me, I'm not surprised. And I don't find it too shocking, because this is what I expect from billionaires. This is what I expect from guys like this who have all of this money, who just have fuck you money, and who don't have any real repercussions or consequences for their actions. All the shit that's coming out right now about him, about what he's been having going on, don't think that he's the only one. These guys, they pay so much money and they do all of this, and literally you've heard him come out and defend Robert Kraft after he got caught up in the massage parlor. We know now why. And you just have to understand that this is just what comes with the territory. These are old, rich, white guys who they just do what they want. They're able to go ahead and have all this shit happen. For me, what I think people need to pay more attention to when it comes to these Epstein files is pay attention to the dates, pay attention to the names that aren't as important, and understand that a lot of the shit that you're going to hear about with guys that aren't on the level of a Stephen Tisch, you have to really make sure you're fact checking it, because, and this is unrelated to the NFL, but the whole Epstein files connection with Jay-Z and Pusha T. If you just go by face value and you just read the headline that they're in the files, that's big news. That's huge. Then you actually look at it and you look at the dates. They're calling Pusha T a handler, and they're saying that Jay-Z was hanging around these guys in 1996. In 1996, Jay-Z was still selling crack. He was still on the block. He was still in Brooklyn. Pusha T was in fucking Virginia. My point being, unless this shit goes so much deeper and they literally are like planting motherfuckers into the pop culture world that they want to become famous at certain times, there's no way that Jay-Z was even around motherfuckers like Epstein during that time period. And with that in mind, you just have to make sure you're reading each file, make sure you're looking at it, make sure that if you see something that's of interest, that's just like, oh shit, he was in the Epstein files, make sure you actually go and research that. Do something to look into it, because what I think is happening right now is that I think that they are just leaking names. They are just dropping documents and files that have anyone's name in it, and they're highlighting that as a way to misdirect the public, have them think one thing about how the files are this or that, make you think it's everybody or make you think it's nobody because of how all the baseless and BS shit. And then when they actually do have something that leaks that's actually incriminating to somebody that we should care about, that's maybe up in power, like our fucking president, we're going to push it off to the side because look at all the other Epstein news that came out. That was bullshit too. Everything has an agenda. Everything has a reason and a purpose and a motive. So you have to just use discretion when looking at this shit. One thing that I did find funny and that I do want to just take a quick note of, Russell Wilson was not having this shit. Something leaked with his name connected to the Epstein files. This man went to X and was quick. He said, nope, not today, Satan. And he immediately shut that shit down. He said that somebody was trying to sell him a plane, some random broker. He didn't go for it, and he's glad he didn't. And you know what? Shout out to Russell Wilson, because if there's one motherfucker that gets his name played with more than anybody in the league, it is Russell Wilson. He's not the greatest player in the world anymore. He's not probably the best teammate that you could have ever had, but damn it, I think that his name has been played with to the point this year where it's like, we got to just remember who the fuck Russell Wilson is. And remember the fact that, I'm going to say this is a league that has multiple motherfuckers who abuse women, who have done terrible shit like drinking and driving, abusing motherfuckers. Yet Russell Wilson is one of the more hated players because people think he's corny. It's a league that has multiple motherfuckers that beat women and do shit like that. Yet Russell Wilson is one of the most hated motherfuckers because he's corny. That should tell you something about the NFL's demographic and their fan base. Niggas need to do better. But with that being said, don't be shocked if more stuff comes out. Don't be shocked if, listen, we're never going to have anybody held accountable, but just already go into there assuming that any of these NFL owners, they all know what's up. Especially the ones that have more money than they know what to do with. They know what the fuck is up. This whole Epstein client list thing, all of this Epstein shit is just bullshit at this point. This is the only country where motherfuckers that are being connected to it aren't being held accountable. So it is what it is. But that's all the NFL news I want to talk about. Epstein list is fucking crazy. It's wild out here. Now, going into some NBA news, it's time to talk and switch over to basketball talk. This is one of the craziest days upcoming right now. We have the NBA trade deadline, and there is no other domino that is bigger than Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis out of Milwaukee. It's looking like it's going to happen. I don't know where he's supposed to go. I don't know what to expect. And there is still a solid chance that he might just get moved in the offseason. But Giannis is done with the Bucks after this year. Damn near maybe in a couple days. And that's a seismic change. Ooh, get that braid. There's a dread. That is a seismic change in the NBA. And and just depending on where he goes, is going to have so many other dominoes falling. Because the thing to understand about the NBA trade deadline is that when you have a big player like Giannis, almost every team in the league is going to want to have him. So, everybody's making calls, and that's going to affect so much other shit. You got guys like LaMelo Ball. You got guys like James Harden, who the Clippers are trying to deal now. There's no telling, because where Giannis goes is going to basically determine where everybody else goes. Because the NBA, the way things work, once he makes his trade, then that's going to determine, okay, the teams that missed out on Giannis, they're going to want this guy or that guy. And everything's going to happen as a result of that. So that's why it's impossible. You can't really make a trade, because you can't really make a prediction on anybody other than Giannis, because if you're trying to predict where James Harden is going to go, if Giannis goes somewhere else, then that's going to probably affect him. So it's, like I said, I think I said in the last video where we talked about Giannis, my guess is that he's going to end up on Golden State, either on Golden State or on New York. I think that he wants to go to a big market. That is where Giannis himself would prefer to go. And it's really just going to coming down to who's willing to give up the most for him. And if I had to take a guess, I want to say it probably ended up being New York, who has more to offer. But I don't know if that's going to put them over the hump. At least not this year. Because the NBA, outside of the West and OKC, and the Spurs. I'm going to be honest with you. The Spurs are literally it's a two-team race in the West. It's the Spurs and it's OKC, in my opinion. But this is early into the season. We haven't even had the trade deadline or All-Star break yet. But I don't really see any team in the East that is going to be dominant, especially if New York has to give up a lot of capital and a lot of compensation to get Giannis on their team. So it's just going to be super interesting over these next couple of days and over these next couple of months, because this is another one of those times where the NBA just has a lot of parity. Maybe only on one side, but that still makes it plenty fucking interesting. Like I said, in the finals, we're still taking OKC. We're still taking whoever comes out of the West. I don't think there's any team on the East that's going to be better than them, but it's definitely going to be an interesting ride on the East, just watching how everything goes down. Now, one name that I don't necessarily talk too much about on here, he is one of the most famous names in sports history, so I'm sure everybody appreciates me not adding my name to the long list of people that just won't shut up about him. But it's time we appreciate LeBron James. LeBron James just made his 22nd consecutive All-Star appearance. The man's been doing this shit in the league for so long. Again, there's nothing else really to say. Like, he is that guy. LeBron is one of the GOATs. Again, I'm not going to put him past MJ or anything like that. Just personally, I'm from Chicago. But LeBron, what he's been able to accomplish, what he's done, the man is out here playing games with his son. He's special. And again, make sure that whenever you have a chance to watch a Lakers game, whenever you have a chance to just see this man play, make sure you go and just watch like at least 5 minutes of it, because it really is special what we're seeing right here. A man that's been able to go for this long, maintain this type of consistency, not have any type of season-ending injuries for this whole fucking 22 years. This is everything, man. This is everything. This shit is impressive. When I came into the season, I was expecting him and Luka and the Lakers to really be able to make a real strong push, but based off the way OKC and the Spurs are playing, I don't think LA is going to have a real shot at the title this year. I'll say it now. Again, things can change, but right now it's looking like it's a two-man race. With that being said, this is the final year of LeBron's contract, if I'm not mistaken. He is going to be hitting free agency this summer. I think there's a very, very solid chance that he could end up ending his career in Cleveland. It's been speculated. I'm not the first person to talk about it, but I don't think that LeBron is going to come back to the Lakers. I think that he's ready to have that final year, and I think that there's no better spot for him to have that final year than in Cleveland. People have talked about New York and him wanting to go to just that big market to just be there for 1 year. No. I don't want LeBron to see him ending his final year in New York. I want him in Cleveland, in his home, where there's just something special about LeBron James in Cleveland. Maybe that's the only time I'll ever really be able to talk this lovingly about the city of Cleveland. But when LeBron James is playing there, when you are watching him just putting on for that city, it feels special and it feels different. And that's where he should end his career. Kobe had his final little farewell tour. I think that LeBron definitely is going to have his, and I think that there's no better place to have it in Cleveland. Maybe if you want to just stay in LA, but I don't really see any reason for him to just pack up and go to New York unless he's really just trying to ring chase that badly, and he doesn't need it. His legacy is cemented. If you think LeBron is the GOAT, he's already the GOAT. One more ring is not going to do it. I'm going to be honest. One more ring, especially when it's not going to put him past Jordan, that is not going to change how anybody feels about LeBron James. So go ahead, go to Cleveland, ride your career out the right way, go finish it where you started. That would be what I would say to LeBron, because this is a once in a lifetime, just like this man's career has been storybook in a lot of different ways. And this is the only way to give it that perfect storybook ending to me. Now, lastly, finally, I wanted to take a minute to talk about something I heard Draymond Green talk about, and that was the Michael Jordan versus Derrick Rose debate. Now, Derrick Rose, for those of y'all who don't know, Chicago legend, Chicago icon. He is literally the city's son. Like, this was a guy who came from fucking Inglewood, Southside Chicago, Simeon, went to Memphis, then came to the NBA, first overall pick by the Bulls, like storybook type shit. Like Cleveland and Ohio have LeBron James. Illinois and Chicago, we have Derrick Rose. It was that level of special. Came in, put on for the city, gave the city hope, because the Bulls had just been mediocre that entire time after Jordan left. And then Derrick Rose was that first real time that when we had somebody that came back and gave the city real fucking hope that we were gonna go back to being winners. And we did. Led the team to number 1 overall seeds. Everything was looking great for us, and then he got hurt. He got hurt. He was never the same. His knees were never the same, and everything just got fucked up after that. And it was just a bad time after that point, because the city never gave up hope. We never stopped loving Derrick Rose, but his body just wouldn't cooperate with him. And he, despite all of that, is still like, look, Derrick Rose could walk around Chicago untouched. This nigga can go into hoods, Chicago hoods, just being Derrick Rose. He will not get touched. Niggas that touch Derrick Rose, they're going to be dead within 24 hours. And then you had Draymond Green say that he means more to the city of Chicago than Michael Jordan. We all know who Michael Jordan is. Won 6 championships, put on for the city. The Chicago Bulls weren't shit before Michael Jordan got there and started doing what he did. And he made us relevant. He made us one of the most winning championships in the NBA over the course of a fucking decade. Now, I'm biased. I'm gonna have to give myself just a little bit of grace, give myself a little bit of an out. I was not able to see Michael Jordan playing. The only time I saw Michael Jordan playing in the NBA was when he was on the Wizards, and that shit don't count. So I can't necessarily say that I can compare them both. But for me, the reason why I personally am going to pick Derrick Rose as the guy who is more important, for starters, for as much as Michael Jordan meant to the city of Chicago, or as much as he meant to just the state of Illinois, after he retired and after he got done, and I'm not holding this against Michael Jordan, this is not his fault. He has no real reason to sort of like hold himself to the standard. It's not like he just stayed as some Chicago ambassador the entire time. It's not like he stayed always rooting in Illinois, always rooting for the Cubs or for the Bears or things of that nature. Michael Jordan, he went and did his own thing. Like, I don't feel that Michael Jordan loved the Bulls organization or the city of Chicago to the level that, you know, somebody like maybe a Kobe loved LA, or you have like a Larry Bird loved Boston or the Celtics. I don't really get that same feel from him. And that same sort of like just almost callous or carelessness of Jordan, that of him not giving a fuck about shit like that, that is what made him great. So I don't want to, again, I'm not trying to fault him for it, but you compare that to somebody like Derrick Rose, who he lives and bleeds for the city of Chicago. It feels like if there's ever been somebody to represent what it feels like to meet somebody from Chicago to represent the city, Derrick Rose is that. And so I see him as just, he is the guy. He is the one. Like, I'm not going to ever take away Jordan in those 6 championships, but Derrick Rose was he was the rose that grew out of the concrete in this city. So this is an interesting one. I think I need to talk to some people that are more older than me to maybe really appreciate the conversation and the comparison to see if I'm wrong on that. But I'm picking Derrick Rose. To me, that's the guy that I think of when I think of just the city of Chicago, Chicago hoops. He is like what it means. And maybe it's just because I'm part of a different generation. I was too young to really see Jordan play, but it's Derrick Rose, man. It is D Rose. It's D Rose over him. Both of them are great. Both of them are revered. They're both legends and guys I'm a ride for, but if I have to pick one over the other, I'm definitely going to pick Derrick Rose. But that's everything, y'all. This has been just another edition of Sports Talk. I'm glad that y'all have sat here and listened to me yap with you for a little moment. And I just want to say thank y'all for continuing to check us out over at Kinetic Aesthetic. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, do everything that you have to on whatever platform that you listen or watch me on so that you can stay up to date and be notified as soon as we drop any new releases. Almost lost my train of thought there for a second. But once again, this has been your boy Germ. This has been Kinetic Aesthetic, and this has been Sports Talk. Y'all keep having a good rest of your day. Keep drinking a lot of water and keep telling your friends, family, and loved ones that you love them. But this has been your boy Germ, and I'm out.